Hi there, it's Paul from McAuliffe. The more you know, the more power you have to enjoy your cigars. So today I want to talk about something a little interesting. I'll keep it short. In the late 1800s, there were literally tens of thousands of cigar factories scattered all over the United States. And there were thousands, literally thousands, of incredible artists, mostly they were mostly Germans in New York and Pennsylvania, creating the beautiful classic cigar box art that you know from the older cigar boxes. And they actually produced all of those via a process called stone lithography, where they actually took the artwork and carved it into stone that they then spread ink on and printed uh, a different stone plate for each color of the box. And if you think about some of that artwork, we're talking about a lot of colors, a lot of stone carvings, a lot of beautiful art. But that is not even what I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to talk to you about why cigars or how cigars wound up in boxes in the first place. And believe it or not, there are just two people, two, who are largely responsible for the whole idea of cigars in boxes. One of them was in the early 1800s. He was a European banker who did a lot of business in Cuba and, of course, all over Europe. And he had this brilliant idea of putting cigars from a factory that he wound up owning, uh, putting those cigars in big wooden chests, usually 100 cigars, but big wooden chests. And the lid of the chest was carved with his bank's logo. And he would ship those back to Europe and they would get passed around to his big banking clients. But he was the first one to put cigars in a wooden box. And you've probably heard of this guy. This banker, he was actually German, was named Upman. Yes, that Upman, H. Upman, for whom the Cuban and non-Cuban brand of cigars is named. So that's one guy, H. Upman and his big wooden chests. But the second guy that had even more to do with the way we buy cigars in boxes today was actually Abraham Lincoln. In the early 1860s, Abe Lincoln instituted the first U.S. cigar specific tax, and he did it to help pay for the Civil War. Um, but he had a problem, or they had a problem. And the problem was they were cigars at that time were generally sold either loose or in bundles wrapped in palm leaves, or bundles wrapped in silk ribbon, or even bundles wrapped in newspaper. But they didn't come in boxes. Sometimes, if you bought very large quantities or you were an importer, they would even come packed in wooden barrels, but not boxes. So that left no real place to put a tax stamp. And you can't tax cigars and not put a stamp on that says the tax has been paid. So part of the law that instituted the tax also mandated that cigars be in wooden boxes of 25, 50, or 100, and that the boxes be designed in such a way that they could easily accommodate a tax stamp in a highly visible position. That's the way the law was written. Um, that's also why, if you look at any of the older school, say pre-cigar boom cigar boxes, they were almost always 25 cigars, because for over 100 years, they had been mandated to be 25 cigars by US law. So there you have it. I would like to talk much more about the artwork and the beauty of antique cigar boxes, but I want to get together a good group of samples to show you just how amazing that artwork could be. So that'll have to be another time. For now, I'm going to light up my McAuliffe. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to remind you of the three rules: smoke often, smoke happy, and smoke McAuliffe. And I'll remind you that the more you know, the more you can enjoy your cigar. Ciao for now.